To think that a gentle stream of water could carve a path into the mighty earth. The shepherd stood at the edge of the giant cavern, peering down into the dark belly of the beast. Only a thin bridge of solid stone bisecting it. A huge cavern shaped by a minuscule waterfall, the earth being chipped away piece by piece since the beginning of time. The bridge was the only thing that had avoided the sculpting hands of that stream. The shepherd could hear the faint drops of the water falling onto the rocks below. The sound was like rain, and he stood atop it, like a god would when he stood atop the clouds in heaven and listened below. The shepherd bent down and placed his hands into the stream. The water was calm, he thought, and yet something so small had bored a hole into the heart of a giant. He turned and faced the highlands around him. The grassy hills stood still, and the land felt eternal. He could see the errant flock of sheep drinking the waters upstream. He did not know why they had followed him, but the unwilling shepherd could not shake his fate. As he had blindly followed the stream to its end, they would blindly follow him to his. And now at this place, the only way forward was down. His grip was firm, but the rock was not. The shepherd climbed down into the pit. He was slow and methodical in his descent. He stood atop the stone bridge, halfway to the bottom of the pit. The light from above had begun to fade as he had begun his descent. The water's echo was magnified here. The sound bounced off every jagged edge of the stone walls that surrounded him. The shepherd looked down at the ground. His bare feet clung to the stone as he traversed the bridge. The stone was damp, and the shepherd did not have firm footing on the earth below. He looked downwards, but he could see only darkness below him. On the other side of the bridge, there was a stairway carved into the cavern walls. The waters had smoothed the ancient stone steps, but the dim light of the setting sun was still enough to define their edges. As he walked further downwards, the echo of each tiny sound was magnified. Every drop of water hitting the ground was crisp and loud, and every silence between the echo was even louder. The shepherd came to the bottom of the cavern. It was darker than the night sky could ever be. The shepherd pulled out a torch from the earthen cloth sack draped around his shoulders and ignited its end. The walls of the cavern came alive with the dark shadows of the depth. Each jagged stone cast a shadow that flickered on the walls. These dancing spirits painted the stone walls like a mural that was larger than life and alive itself. The shepherd looked towards the far wall. The waters of the gentle stream projected mist in all directions as it fell to the ground far below. He could make out a small stony stream flowing beside his feet. The cavern floor was angled, ever so slightly downwards, and the water followed the ground deeper into the cave. There was no life here, just damp rock and a lonely shepherd. The shepherd followed the sound of the flowing water. The rocks became ever more jagged with each successive step. With each step, his bare feet accrued more and more little cuts. When he looked behind him, he could see the sheen of his own blood reflect off the stones where he had once stood. The dim flame accentuated the wisps of red flowing in the stream beside him. It is not that he felt no pain, for it was excruciating, but he had no other choice than to keep walking forward. His God had commanded him from the highest mountain in the land to descend to the lowest depths of the earth. He did not know what he would find, but his belief did give him strength to overcome his pain. And so he continued.